Okay, so I got a new stand. We're gonna crank it back. Oh, that's a little too much. Hold on, I wanna keep it nice and stable. All right. Okay, that's actually perfect. Good evening, morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Real Talk episode 4. I believe we're on now. We're on episode 4. Episode 4, y'all. So what I want to talk today is about dreams. We're gonna go over regular dreams, lucid dreaming, how to lucid dream on command, and daydreaming, because daydreaming is fundamental if you want to get the most out of your imagination. So let's talk about regular dreams, right, and what they might mean. So most times when we fall asleep, we are exactly that. We are asleep, and we're not necessarily cognizant of the surroundings around us in our dreams. But if you can, and it's very important to pay attention to the surroundings of your dreams. Like at least in my dreams, sometimes I see people who have passed on, but they were in my life as a child, and we have conversations. Sometimes I see things for like 2 to 3 seconds that might happen like the next week. It's never anything important though. I think it's funny. I can see the future, but I can't ever see anything important. What I might see is like a specific order of me ordering a burger at Five Guys. That's the type of stuff that I be seeing. I don't be seeing nothing like, oh, this is life changing. I wish I could just go to sleep one night and dream of the lottery tickets. That's what I wish I could dream about. But yeah. That being said, when you're asleep, if you don't know how to lucid dream, then you are pretty much at the mercy of whatever dream you're in, and it could very well be a good dream. It could also very well be a nightmare. And being at the mercy of a nightmare is no fun, as most of us know and understand. At the same time, your nightmares might not always just be nightmares. They might be prophetic dreams trying to warn you of something. Or even your regular dreams, if something just seems out of place, whatever that out of place thing was, try to decipher it. Like, you might not remember your dream when you wake up, but while you're asleep, if you at least notice that something's out of place within the dream, try your best to decipher it, because that's your subconscious trying to talk to you, trying to tell you something. And I'm not sure if I told you guys this in the spiritual video, but I believe that your subconscious actually is your link to God, and that's the way that He talks to people. Is one through dreams, and the other through your conscience. All parts of your subconscious mind. So yeah, with regular dreams that you're at the mercy of, you're pretty much along for the ride. But at the same time, it's important to at least try to develop a sense of cognizance while you are in a dream state, which I know is kind of weird to people who might have never thought of that, but try to. Which will then lead me into lucid dreaming. That's pretty much the first step. Will be learning to notice certain things in your dreams. Just notice them, and then when you're asleep, you can differentiate dreams from reality. We all know this. We can, unless you have a disorder, you can differentiate your dreams from reality. So getting accustomed to that dream feeling is important to recognize. I'm in a dream, because for a minute your brain resets, so you have no idea that you're in a dream. But it's important to recognize I am in a dream. And once you realize that you are in that dream, realize that although your subconscious is doing most of the work right now, you realizing you're in a dream, you have waken up your conscious mind, and you can shift the dream around you. I think the first time I did this, I was 13, and I literally made the tall city landscape around me crumble and fall, kind of, sort of. Not in like a destructive way, but I got it all to just level out and be land, just pure land. It's hard to describe. And the first thing I figured out how to do in my dreams was run at super speed, which was fun. I used to fall asleep on purpose just so I could do that. But yeah, I could run at super speed. The second thing that I learned how to do on purpose while I'm lucid dreaming is fly. And flying is very hard to describe to somebody in order to get yourself to hover. You have to, one, believe that you can hover, believe that you can run at super speed in dreams, because you can. That's, if you ever want to have superpowers, learn how to lucid dream, because you can do whatever you want. Literally, the only thing stopping you is right here. So that feeling of levitating, originally I could only like levitate at, I wouldn't say it's a disappointing speed, but I couldn't go too high off the ground, and I couldn't really go as fast as I wanted to go. But eventually, with more practice, every time I went to my dream, I practiced, and I practiced on purpose. I learned how to fly. Like, I mean, I could like fly. But like, at the same time, flying in my dreams, it doesn't work like Superman. It doesn't actually go like this. It goes more like this. Whereas you're being drawn upwards, and you can definitely tilt which direction you're going. So instead of going like this, you're more going like this, and then coming back down whenever you feel like it. Other thing I learned how to do is kind of sort of jump high, but that kind of falls into learning how to fly in your dreams as well. So in those dreams, because I often have prophetic dreams, like even when, like in times like now where I haven't been meditating like I should, I haven't been sleeping like I should, and I'll be honest about that, because unfortunately I have suffered from insomnia since I was like very young. Pretty much since the PTSD incident, I've suffered from insomnia. So most of the times when I would practice lucid dreaming, it would be during the day. Middle of the day, I'm knocked out. But that's what I'm doing in my head, and people didn't quite seem to grasp that. Um, what was I just about to say? It was about learning to do a certain ability. Was it about flying? Was it about jumping? I think it was about flying. But lost my train of thought that quick. But yeah, the most important thing is to practice waking up while you're asleep. That's really and truly all lucid dreaming is. Once you wake up, you're like, I'm in my head. You can just do this, and whatever's in front of you will just blow away. Like, it's the best feeling ever. But that's why I was getting into prophetic dreams. So, as I said in my dreams, sometimes I see either family members or total strangers, and I can tell they're not alive, but they're talking to me. So, but it's never been on the like creepy, oh my god, get away from me type deal. It's always been when I'm going through something and someone appears to me and gives me the advice that I need in that moment, in that space and time. So usually when I'm going through something that, and I believe them to be angels, just because, as I said, your subconscious is how God talks to you. And throughout the Bible, there's a decent amount of people who say that angels came to them in their dreams. And I've also had, as I said in my other video, people come to me in the physical form who I believed were angels as well. But your subconscious is a very, very important part of your being. Your subconscious, if your subconscious is not at rest, you will never know peace, really and truly, if you don't train your subconscious to be at ease. And the enemy of all spiritual progress is anxiety. And I suffer from anxiety a lot. Like, I'm not going to lie, when I was doing my routines of sleeping, lucid dreaming on purpose, meditating whenever I could, my anxiety was kept pretty down. Now that I've gotten older, I've been through a lot crazier situations. Uh, my anxiety doesn't seem to go down, but I know that's because I haven't been putting in that work spiritually. You know what I'm saying? Like, in terms of sleeping, in terms of meditation, in terms of just giving myself a second to just be. But that's very, very important when it comes to your dreams, because the more at ease you are in your actual awakened state, the more at ease you're going to be when you fall asleep. And it's all about finding that comfort spot when you're asleep, because from that little that cushion, that seat, you control the entire show. And that's why I've spoken a lot about dreams since I was younger. Like, my first EP was called Misunderstood Dreams. I think I dropped it in 2014. And I called it that for two reasons. At that time, I had already learned how to lucid dream on command. So I spent a lot of my time dreaming. That's what I was going to get to, daydreaming. So we'll cut to that later. I spent a lot of my time dreaming. And I called it Misunderstood Dreams because at that time I just felt very misunderstood. Because I was getting into a lot of fights, as I said, around that age. But it was never for the reasons that people always assumed it was for. And so I would get painted the bad guy in a lot of situations where I honestly was defending myself or was actually trying to be the hero of the situation. Um, but yeah, and then Music Volume 1, I think, 2018, there's a song on there called Dreamworld, and I'll link it in the description. So that's pretty much me talking about escaping the reality of where I live, the reality of what I go through by going to sleep and controlling my dreams. It's like the best feeling in the world. Like, that is the most natural high that you are ever gonna get. You don't gotta smoke shit to lucid dream. It helps. Don't get me wrong. It helps, but you don't have to. Putting that out there. So let me go back to daydreaming. Right now, as a child, I think I've already said this. I wasn't very popular at all. Didn't necessarily have many friends. The only people that really came over my house were my cousins, and that's why we locked in like we are today. Like, you know what I'm saying? I love y'all. If y'all are watching this, any family member, I love you. I love you. Uh, but yeah, so I would spend a lot of my time either reading books because my house is a library. There's at least 1 to 200 books in every single room, including mine. I got one bookshelf over here, one bookshelf over there, and there used to be one big bookshelf that went all the way up to my ceiling. Like that's also something. Reading's important too. As a kid, definitely teach your kids how to read and give them lots of fantasy and science fiction books because it expands their imagination, which is extremely important. That's the root of all of this. And the root of all your dreams, your imagination has to be as strong as possible. And your belief in that imagination. Because then that turns into manifestation. And manifestation then becomes reality. But all of that starts from up here. All of it starts from up here. So with daydreaming, right? If I wasn't reading a book, if I wasn't playing my GameCube, I was zoned out. Even in the middle of class. Because I think I told y'all that I figured out how to keep excellent grades and not pay attention in class. So I would just zone out and let my imagination run away with me. Just my imagination running away with me. That was me. You know what I'm saying? It still is me. Because I zone out. I was zoned out in the middle of somebody talking to me. And I'm not ashamed to say it. But learning how to daydream takes it's an exercise. Because you're not asleep. So you have to actually be keeping it up the entire time you're daydreaming. You have to actively put yourself in that dream versus becoming asleep and that dream just falls on you. You're actively thinking about that dream. You're actively going through different scenarios. And that's why I've always been somebody that thinks 2 to 3 steps ahead because my favorite thing to do is daydream. So I'm going to daydream what happens if I do this? What happens if I do that? You know what I'm saying? I'm going to run myself through every single possibility before I take an action. And it's a strategy that's worked out so far. The only times it doesn't work out is when I don't do it. When I move without thinking, yeah, it's a bad habit. Definitely something I gotta break. But daydreaming, especially as a youth, because when you're a kid, all the anxiety and depression of the world hasn't fallen on you just yet. Hopefully. I gotta put an asterisk on that. Hopefully, the weight of the world hasn't fallen on you as a kid. Because honestly, yeah, I was still a kid when the weight of the world fell on me. So, but from the age of 3 to 8, The main thing people should, well, besides, knowledge, mathematics, and things like that, but imagination should be the focal point when people are talking to their children and trying to encourage their children to dream, because that is the most important thing you can do in this world, is dream. Nobody can take away what's in here, ever. It's yours. So that's pretty much all I want to get to. I've gone over regular dreams, I've gone over lucid dreaming, the process of lucid dreaming, I've gone over daydreaming. I'll be gonna run this back. Run the child. So yeah, your dreams are like very important, man. A lot of people, they give up on their dreams. They give up on even daydreaming, and they become consumed by the weight of the world. And that's the worst thing that a person can do to themselves. Like, the absolute worst thing. Like, no matter what has ever happened to me in my life, the one thing that always kept me sane is my dream. You know what I'm saying? I can't afford to lose myself in whatever I'm going through, because that would just delay the timing of my dreams coming true. Because they do. That's that's the song I missed. See, I got Misunderstood Dreams, I got Dreamworld, and then I got Dreams Come True from 2017. Dreams come true, but only if you believe in it too. When I was young, I thought my voice would go unsung, but sure enough, it's made its way through. So I'm definitely gonna have to drop the links to all those dreaming songs. One thing that definitely helps, because I remember one time I asked, the frequency knocked me out, literally. I don't know what video it was. I could never find the exact one again. But dang, out like a light, out for 5 hours in the strongest dream I've ever had. Like, I wish I could do that again. But yeah, finding lucid dreaming frequencies, yes, I recommend it. If you're somebody that can't sleep with noise, play it on your phone speaker so it's not as loud. Don't play it on your TV, and then put it to the lowest volume you can. Because even though it might be too low for you to really hear it, your subconscious mind is still hearing. It's still awake. Your subconscious mind is always awake. That's our true mind, is the subconscious mind, because it's always awake. You know what I'm saying? That's why they say you shouldn't say certain things around children, even if they don't know what's going on. They know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? The back of your mind, that's really and truly, that's the motor. That's what drives everything. The front of your mind is just a storage component. All the things that you know. But the subconscious mind, that's where creativity is sparked. You know what I'm saying? That's the factory. This is just the warehouse, you know what I mean? Storage unit. This is the factory. So always make sure to take care of your mental health, because you're not gonna have good dreams if you don't take care of your mental health. It's not gonna happen. Trust me. So, with that being said, dream on, people. Dream on. I am struggling to find which button I need to turn this off.